Hey man, congratulations on the win. Let's get your initial thoughts and to your performance and the fight itself.
Scott's really tough, man. I thought I had him like a couple of times, and then he just wasn't going down. And I don't know how much time was left on the round, but I just threw that spinning back fist just to, I don't know, throw something out there. But my thoughts on the fight was I got to learn to stick to the game plan and wear guys down instead of just going nuts.
You didn't follow up after landing the fight-ending shot. Is that because you just felt the connection, knew he was out, or did you think the fight could have been stopped a little bit before that?
Shoot, I don't know. Same thing happened with the fight before. I just didn't feel like it was necessary. Sometimes you can see the guys, if the guy's eyes are rolling back and like, it just didn't make sense to me. And, yeah.
Obviously, you did miss weight. I was just curious what exactly happened there.
It was poor planning on my part. So typically I have a little bit more freedom because normally we don't have the COVID protocols. So I didn't take those protocols into consideration, and I just didn't do things the way I should have. Honestly, I just thought I could maybe, because I had about an hour left with the 2 pounds, and I was doing the bath, and the weight wasn't coming off. I did an hour in the bath, and I only lost 0.4. And I said to myself, I'll just go to the sauna at the Performance Institute. But at that point, they said you can't go because... So that's my fault. It's not their fault. I didn't even listen to their protocols.
So is that just basically it was the isolation you didn't take into account? You thought it could come off, and then when it didn't, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't hear it on the broadcast, but you said something to, I think, Paul Felder about giving the bonus, if there was one, to Scott.
Yeah. Because I miss weight, so I don't deserve it. I recognize that. That's perfectly fine. But if anyone deserves it, I think it's Scott. He came for the kill, and he took the fight. I miss weight, man. He didn't have to take the fight, and I'm not a walk in the park. I'm not trying to sound cocky, but it's not like he was taking an easy fight,
Do you agree with that policy? Because let's say you go out there and you get into a 3-round war and you could potentially take years off your life, but you don't qualify for a bonus because you miss weight by 1 pound or 2 pounds. Do you agree with that policy, or do you think there should be maybe case-by-case decisions?
Yeah, I gave my word, and I didn't promise. I didn't produce on my word. So I agree with it. But look, I think if that person is deserving, then give it to the guy he fought and beat. Because look, Scott took the damage, so why not for him? He stepped up. He took. Not only I was responsible, he was responsible enough to say, it's okay, I'll still fight you. So why not give it to him? Does he not deserve it?
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
First, I was trying to read your face when you first came in here. I couldn't tell if the emotion that you were disappointed even though you got a win, or how are you feeling with your performance and just maybe what's going through your head right now?
Man, I get really emotional. They say it gets easier the more you fight. It doesn't seem to be the case for me. I like it, empty arena, as smooth as everything's gonna be. They told me exactly how everything's gonna be. Everything's great. It was so emotional, man. I felt overwhelmed, and when I make the walk, I normally just listen to worship music and I worship as I walk, and then all that goes away, and then the fight happens, and then after the fight I can decompress. So that's what you're seeing. You're just seeing a man who's exhausted but at ease.
What did it feel like? I know you said that normally you focus on the music and stuff, but walking into an empty arena, being able to hear your coaches in corner the whole time, how different was that from what you're used to?
One thing that was cool was when I was walking, I was singing, and I realized I'm a terrible singer, so maybe pull that back a little bit, pull the volume down on my singing. And then 2, it was really good to be able to hear my corners so clearly. I was throwing too many kicks, and I heard my coach be like, hey, calm down with the kicks. I was like, okay, no, less kicks. Focus more back on the boxing. And just little things like that. And then on top of that, I can hear his corner, so that helps me. It's weird. Normally, I can't even process what my wife says and my mom says at the same time, but it's insane. In there, I'm like, oh, his corner wants him to move his feet, so he's going to try to be light out on his feet. My corner's telling me to cut off the octagon. Okay, so start with a jab, blah, blah, blah. It's insane. It's incredible how that works in there, but I can't do it in the rest of my life. Yeah.
Just a couple more questions. Speaking about the boxing, I thought your striking looked really, really good tonight. I mean, I don't know. I know we always say, is that what you really focused on? But do you feel like you're striking, that you're firing on another level right now?
So boxing, yeah, it's something I've been working on a lot. I've been working on being more methodical and focusing on defense and just not losing control. And I felt like I did that in the first, maybe, it felt like a minute and a half I did it. And then after that, I just went back into my old ways. And that's how I was when I was a kid, when I used to get in fights, and some things never change.
And last one for me, you kind of touched on a little bit with the weight miss. With fighting in this whole pandemic, is this really changing the way that fighters need to sort of have to adapt to the normal fight week? Because I think you're not the only person that goes into expecting to lose a lot of weight just in the hotel or the couple days, with the training being thrown weirdly because we can't gather with people. Is this really sort of redefining the way that fighters are having to deal with fight weeks?
You know, we have so much at our hand here with the Performance Institute, and even in the hotel they give us so much. So it's more on us to game plan. This is what I would tell fighters: be prepared when you come in and kind of get an idea of what they're doing. Don't just say, I'm cutting weight, I can't pay attention to this. Be aware of your situation so you can better handle it. That would be my advice.
And I guess one last one. I don't remember hearing you call out anybody or say anything, but you know, we always ask it, you know, when do you want to get back in there, and are there names? I mean, you're on quite a streak right now, so I mean, you could pretty much call your shot.
Man, why I gotta? It's getting on my nerves. Like, I sat with Sean Shelby, and we had to go through the whole list, and he had to tell me why, and I felt like I was sitting there begging. I'm good, man. They want to fight, they can come call me. I'm gonna be champion sooner or later, but I'm not begging anymore.
Beneil, right here, that camera, please, if you would.
Yeah.
Jim Greashauber, cage side seat. What a run you're on. I mean, 5 in a row, 4 straight finishes. And you talked about how you're hearing those things in there, multiple things at a time, and just entering your 30s, getting into your prime. Can you talk about what that's like for you right now, as opposed to earlier in your career? You've always had the physical tools. You've always been a devastating fighter, but it seems like you're really putting everything together right now.
So yeah, it's weird. I always thought, like, early 30s, I'd maybe be retired. It'd be like, that's it, I'm done. But I've never felt better. My training, everything. I'm able to train more as long as I stay healthy. One of the things that was really holding me back was my neck. It was so messed up. It didn't allow me to do multiple trainings a day. So for a while, that was in the way in like late 20s, and then I got over it. It's insane. It just because you're getting like 30s now, I feel like I feel better than my 20s. It's just don't look at my hair. I know I got a lot of grays, and those will throw you off. But I don't know what it is. I feel like Abraham. You know, Abraham didn't hit his peak until his later years. So I kind of feel like him.
You got a long way. We just had Tim Means in here at 36, but I know both guys you just finished, Drakkar and Holtzman. I mean, those are two of the toughest guys in terms of just being tough to finish, and they can walk through a lot of shots. A guy with your jiu-jitsu and now this striking that you're putting together, 2 submissions, 2 knockouts in a row, that combination is pretty rare. Can you just talk about being such a devastating striker while also being so amazing on the ground?
Yeah, why won't these guys just grapple? Let's just do jiu-jitsu, man. But yeah, both Scott and Drakkar never been finished, so I think that was really cool for me, and because I expected to finish them on the ground both. I really thought I would be able to I would get the takedown, and I would just keep getting the takedown, and that's how the fight would be. But with Drakkar, I got 1 takedown, and I think I had a takedown reversal with Scott, but I couldn't seem to capitalize on it, and it just shows, man. Guys are getting so much better, so I have to get better in my striking, and that's what you're seeing is development in all aspects of the game. So that way, if someone's ready to stop one part of my game, well, there's another game too.
I think your mic's dying, but yeah, to be able to beat guys where they think they can beat you, what an edge that is going into any fight.
Yeah, imagine breaking a guy at his best spot, his striking or his grappling. So I think that's been the key lately. Minus the Dober fight, I think Dober was on point that night in striking. He was touching me up, but I was able to just kind of hang in there with him and pressure him there, and then eventually get the takedown. I think that's the key right now. I still focus on my game. My game is still grappling. I'm not forgetting that. I know what I can do grappling, and if allowed to, more people will see it. But because they work so hard to defend it, then I don't force things. I just say, okay, so now let's go back to the striking. When that if the striking opens up the grappling, I go back to the grappling.
Thank you, man. Congrats.